Hi guys, Carolyn Banner here. How you doing? I'm gonna be coming at you with 5 things that you can do to prevent having an afternoon energy slump. So I hope you stay with me. We're gonna be getting into those in just a second. But if you jump on, can you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. And just hit the thumbs up on that so that I know, awesome. Hey Juanita, are you jumping on? Great. So yeah, we're gonna go through 5 things. Thank you for that feedback, really appreciate it. So we're gonna go through 5 things. 3 of them are gonna be nutrition related, and then 2 are gonna be more just general lifestyle modifications to help you get through that afternoon. So let me know, like in the comments if you want, or give me a thumbs up. Can you relate to this? Do you just have that, if you're working, especially at an office or at a desk job, where you just get to 3, 4, 5 p.m. and you are just crashing? You feel like you can't make it through unless you get some more coffee, get some caffeine in you. Yep. So I definitely felt this, and I used to work at the hospital in a clinical job, and I would be sitting for a lot of the day or doing office work. About half of my work towards the last few years of my job at the University of Chicago was to do a lot of charting, a lot of writing. So I'd be sitting down and I would just get to the afternoon and just be like, oh, I just want something to give me some more energy just to get through the last few hours of work. So I want to help you prevent that so that you have good energy all throughout the day, and that you can get home and not feel like you are just like needing to crash on the couch, or to not have the energy to prepare a really healthy meal, a healthy dinner, and finish out the day eating your best and feeling your best, or maybe even being able to go to the gym. So if you're someone that usually plans your workout after work, I want you to have energy so that you can make that happen, that you don't derail your plans to get in your movement and you can still feel really good. So let's do it. So the first one, and I want you guys to put any questions in the comments if you have them. I want to start doing more of these lives. I jumped on Insta stories earlier and just was like, it's been too long. And my coach, Jill Coleman, was talking about it on this webinar I was just catching up on. I'm like, yes, that's it. I'm doing one today. I'm not going to postpone it any longer, and we're going to make this happen. I think this lighting is really crazy. Just a second, let me fix this a little bit. No, I think that's better. Okay, so number 1, plan ahead. Get some snacks that are going to have protein in them. Have them easily available. Either if you're working out of an office, make sure that you have them at your desk or at the fridge that you maybe have access to in your office. Or if you're at home, like I am, I work from home now, I still need to plan ahead, because I still get that afternoon energy slump that can hit me if I don't take steps to actively avoid it. So planning ahead by having some kind of snack that has protein and ideally fiber also with it. So I've been working with my girls in the Magic Makers movement, right, Juanita, on getting in those veggies for a lot of reasons, but partly because they give a huge amount of fiber to our diet. So trying to have a snack planned ahead that's going to pack some protein and some fiber. So some ideas, and you guys can put in the comments too. I know Juanita, you probably have some ideas, but what's your favorite protein packed snack that you maybe take with you, or that you like to have on hand at home? So some of my favorite things are protein bars. Are really convenient. I prefer real food when possible, but listen, when you're strapped for time, when you're a busy mom, when you're on the go especially, it's so good to have something ready to eat in your purse or in your bag or at your desk that doesn't require refrigeration, that you can take with you. And I have to say, certain protein bars really fit the bill on that, and it's a great option to have with you, because hey, I think a protein bar that's well thought out, or half of one, is much better than maybe grabbing a muffin from Starbucks or a donut or anything that's going to be really packed with sugar and make you have a huge blood sugar spike, which will give you immediate energy and then a huge worse slump in your energy afterwards, and tons of calories. So Juanita's saying peanut butter with apple or hummus and veggies. Those are great options. You're going to get fiber with those from the fruits or vegetables, and you're going to get some, or from the hummus, you're going to have beans. That's going to provide some protein as well, and you're going to get a bit of protein from the peanut butter and some healthy fats. So those are really good options. Some ways that you can even increase the protein on those a bit more would be to, maybe if you are open to it, putting a little bit of collagen with that peanut butter, stirring it up, doesn't have any taste to it, or adding a little bit to the hummus. you know, those are just some ways to really increase the protein a bit more, because hummus and peanut butter are nice. They give a little bit of protein, but not too much. So that's a tip for you if you wanted to boost the protein a bit more and you're open to that. Adding collagen peptides can be helpful, even just a tablespoon of it. Some other options for me, is to use, so mentioned protein bars. Some of my favorites are Think Thin, the Brownie Crunch, I think it is, the chocolate one. Or they have a seasonal flavor called, that's the pumpkin spice in the fall. That one's my favorite, but they don't have it all year round. So Think Thin Oat Mega bars from On It are another great ones. And again, I usually have half of one and then pair that with, if I have veggies on hand with me, or some sliced raw veggies, or an apple, small apple would be a great option to get a bit more of crunch and fresh live food. But that's another protein bar, is Think Thin Oat Mega. Of course, I'm blanking right now. In a pinch, this is more of a substitute for dessert. I'll have a Kind bar, but honestly, Kind bars are a bit more of a sweet treat. Those are, I would say, a substitute for dessert. Having a Kind bar instead of having a cookie, for example, is a good option. They're not going to offer a ton of protein, but they can be a nice option if you would prefer not to have as much sugar as maybe a traditional sweet treat would. Okay, so number one, and keep putting in the comments if you have any other ideas. Hey Jessica, I just saw you jump on. You might have some good planned ahead protein snacks that pack a really good punch of protein and maybe also some fiber. So that's what we're going for. If you can get fiber in there, maybe 3, 4, 5 grams would be great. And that's gonna give you that sustaining power to keep your blood sugar stable. So that's kind of what we're going for, is to keep our blood sugar more stable and not have these big, huge spikes and big drops that can cause energy fluctuations. So I mentioned protein bars, pairing that with sliced veggies. I always try and have sliced veggies in our fridge that I can grab a little bag and take with me, or have with me at home, to pair that with a protein bar. Or hummus is a great one. And then I mentioned adding collagen peptides to that. Also keeping things like hard-boiled eggs and making maybe a simple egg salad, so you have that in your fridge. Tuna salad is another good one you can have. Bean salads that you make maybe mixed with some fresh veggies. Those are really nice to have, just so you can have a small portion of that and get you through the afternoon. Wherever you can inject some fiber and some protein and some vegetables, those are the great options that are going to give you lasting energy, quick energy too, but also going to keep you kind of stable energy instead of having a big spike and a big drop. Other things too are just having a bit of leftovers, or having a smaller portion of your lunch. Like maybe you eat most of your lunch, but you save maybe a quarter of it, and then you finish that about 3 or 4 hours later when you're having that dip in your energy. That can give you a little bit of a boost. So just kind of planning ahead, maybe making a slightly bigger lunch so that you can save about a quarter of it for your afternoon snack. Okay, number 2. We're gonna move on. So if you have any other ideas, throw them in the comments, even if you're watching this later, because people are gonna come back and watch this, and you can share with others and give them great ideas, because I feel like that's awesome way that this community can grow and share ideas. I don't have all the answers. You guys have some great ideas and you can share them with each other. So help your sisters out. Okay, number 2 is to really focus on getting the satisfaction score of your lunch to as close to a 10 as you can. So what I mean by satisfaction score is what makes you just enjoy your lunch. So, right, we can always talk about how many calories, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs and fiber, and all these very scientific aspects of it that are talking more about your stomach satisfaction, where you're gonna be just like physically full and maybe eating healthy. But what about the soul satisfying part of it? So I like to talk about both stomach satisfying and soul satisfying. So trying to marry those ideas together and have meals that are both stomach and soul satisfying, so that you are eating healthfully, but you include some little treats, some little healthy things that are gonna, or a little bit of the naughty things even, right? That are going to boost your satisfaction score to a 10. Or as close to a 10, right? Like trying to get 8 if you can. Because when you're satisfied, you're gonna be getting in foods that are going to you're not gonna be wanting to go raid the vending machine. If you had a satisfying lunch with maybe a little bit of a planned ahead sweet treat that's on the healthier side, you're gonna be less likely to wanna go grab whatever, brownie or cookies or Reese's peanut butter cups, whatever your little like treat is that your weakness is. Or if people bring in treats to the the lounge area or to your lunchroom, and they're just sitting there, and you're more likely, when your willpower starts to wear off, and we only have a certain amount of willpower, then towards that afternoon, when your energy's already down and you're feeling weak and you're feeling tired and you're going to be more likely to go back, and maybe you were really good at avoiding them in the morning, but now it's going to be tougher. So how can we make our meals super satisfying, trying to get to that 10 on a satisfaction score, so that you don't feel that need to kind of have to rely on your willpower when you need it the most and it's not there. So some ideas. So if you're gonna have a salad, don't make it dry and boring. Add some avocado to it. Make sure you put some good dressing on it that you love. Maybe a sprinkle of cheese or a little bit of bacon crumbles or some crunchy nuts, or if you like tortilla strips, like the little chip strips, put a little bit of that on there, right? A little goes a long way with this. So make it something that's gonna be really enjoyable for you. One thing that I love is pairing dark chocolates, like a couple squares of dark chocolate with a big spoonful of almond butter, and having that be my intentional kind of post-lunch treat. Also, I made recently that I posted, I think in my Insta stories recently. I don't know if I ever shared the recipe. I think I did. If I haven't, I will, because it's really good. Healthier homemade Reese's peanut butter cups from the Ambitious Kitchen blog, and she has some really good, healthier sweet treats. And because I'm all about enjoying those sweet treats, but it's nice to have healthier options of them, and so that you can enjoy them mindfully without really messing up our blood sugar and hormones and setting us up to have cravings for other worse treats down the road. So these kind of healthier treats can be helpful. And so these homemade peanut butter cups are really yummy. So having one of those with dark chocolate, and then I made them with a mix of natural peanut butter and PB2, so it was a little bit lower in fat, and sea salt, and they were really yum. Really yum. So much better to grab one of those than to go grab even Justin's peanut butter cups or to raid the vending machine later. So including those little things that are going to make your lunch soul satisfying in addition to being healthy and stomach satisfying. That's number 2. Number 3 is to swap out coffee or caffeine in the afternoon for something else. And I'm going to give you some ideas. So how many of you, maybe, I think Juanita, you're the only one on right now, but do you feel that when you get that slump in your energy in the afternoon, do you want to grab coffee or some kind of tea or something that's going to give you energy boost, or soda? Give me a thumbs up if that feels like that's something that you want to do, because I know that it's like my first instinct. I'm like, oh, I need that quick energy boost. I need a coffee. But then I know that I've trained myself, I've intentionally had to step away from coffee so that I don't, because I know exactly what's going to happen, the sequence of events, and so I'm going to have a big burst of energy, and then I'm going to feel worse. I might even have a headache, I might feel nauseous, I might just feel and just worse off after that coffee. So I've really trained myself to think ahead of what my future self is going to want. Yeah, it might feel really good in the moment to have that coffee with caffeine, but will I appreciate that later on? And so what I've done is really focused on thinking about where my energy is going to feel like in 20, 30 minutes, even an hour. And the things that really boost my energy for that longer term energy are things like green juices. The more greens, the better. They give me so much more energy than a coffee will ever. So think of swapping out coffee for the rainbow. So the more color you can get in, the better. So swap out that brown, unless it's your homemade cocoa, and put in the rainbow. So get those fresh veggies in. Just crunching on fresh veggies can really boost your energy as well. They give you a lot of hydration and are gonna give you some fiber, and just the vitamins and nutrients in it can really give you an energy boost. That's so much more genuine and lasting than coffee ever will. So other things that help me too are sparkling water with lemon or lime in it. That's just, love it. The sparkles and the cold are really revigorating and refreshing. So they help get my energy up. And then a homemade cocoa. So I have a recipe on my blog. Have you tried it? Have you tried my homemade cocoa recipe? So if you haven't, go check it out. It's on, I think, like what to do when coffee is not that into you blog, I think is what the title of it is. You can find it there. I've also shared it on Instagram too sometimes. So yeah. So having the homemade cocoa saves you a lot of calories, and it'll still give you that energy boost because of the cocoa has, I always say the name wrong, throbolamine or something. It's a natural stimulant, but it's about 10 times weaker than caffeine. So it'll give you a little energy boost and feel good, help your hormones that help you feel good release, but it won't tax your energy and make you have a big slump later on. So Juanita, what did I see? I'm catching up here. How do you feel with pre-planning food but then not feel like eating it? Let me come back to that. I want to kind of wrap up these things and I'll come back to that. And then Juanita wrote, soda is my afternoon go-to. Yeah, so that's another one, right? Where that you're gonna get caffeine from the darker colored sodas. So maybe, Juanita, one thing you could try is that if you'd like that carbonation too, which is kind of fun to get that fizz. That's why I love the sparkling water with lemon in it. But play around with that, or you can add other infused waters. But I really love carbonated water for that afternoon kind of treat. And this is what I would do, kind of my whole like change in my thinking around afternoon snacking and energy really brought it in full tension to me was when I lived in Argentina, because there's this really different schedule of usually eating lunch around 12 to 1, and then not eating dinner until 8, 9 o'clock at night, later on the weekends. So you have this really long stretch, and they have something that they call a merienda, which is usually after the kids get out of school or work. You meet someone for coffee, or you go with your kids after you pick them up from school and have a merienda in the cafe, and it's super fun. There's a really lovely cafe culture in Buenos Aires. But what they have for meriendas around 5, 6 o'clock are things that are loaded with sugar or carbohydrates, and oftentimes caffeine. Either they have a coffee or a tea or a licuado, which is probably one of the better options because it's usually fruit or milk-based with fruit added to it. For instance, like a banana licuado would have like some milk and a banana, and they'll add sugar to it, but I would always ask them for without sugar, but because, yeah, it would be sweet enough. But those kinds of things would often be just pure, and you'd have those drinks with a media luna. So that would be like a croissant or sweeter version of a croissant. And so you just lots of carbs, lots of sugar. And again, you have a big jump in your blood sugar, and then you're actually kind of hungry, and then you eat dinner like 2 or 3 hours later at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So it was kind of weird, and I was always just feeling not very good in the afternoons and before dinner. And so that's when it was really brought to my time. I was like, okay, I need to do something about this because I need protein, I need something, I need a change in this. And that's when I started to switch from like not having any coffee, even though it was really tempting when everyone else around you is having coffee, to not have it. And just because it smells good, tastes good, I opted for the soda water or sparkling water with lemon. And that really was satisfying for me. Might not be for you, but maybe give it a try and see if it's something that helps. And pair that maybe with some fresh veggies. I would even bring my own snacks sometimes to cafes on the guide that they were for Oli, but like I would have them for myself, bringing my own food in, and pair that whenever you can with some protein, and just doing our best, right? And learning as we go. If we notice that certain habits aren't helping us have more energy, then trying to look back, assess, evaluate, and maybe swap things out, change things up a bit. So it's always a learning process. The number one question I always encourage with clients, with my one-on-one clients especially, is like, after your meals, how do you know if it was kind of working for you and your genetics and for your unique metabolism? Does it give you more energy or less energy? And if it's giving you more energy, then continue on, carry on, sister. If it's giving you less energy and draining you and feeling just like, then something's got to give. Like for instance, for me, I need to switch some things up because I feel like my energy has not been the best, and I have an idea on some things, and I just need to like kind of, okay, need to take action. I've been evaluating, I've been assessing, evaluating, and now I'm ready to start like taking some action and switch some things up so that I can just value my time and my energy and give myself the best. Okay, we're on number 3. Got to get through number 4 and 5. So we got the nutrition ones out of the way. The first one was really planning ahead with some protein snacks that also provide some fiber, ideally. Number 2 was really aiming to get the satisfaction score of our lunch, so that meal before the afternoon slump, up to a 10. So trying to really boost the soul satisfaction of our lunch meal as well. And then to swap out that coffee, the afternoon caffeine bump, and replace it with the rainbow if possible, so some color. And some ideas I had for that were green juices, fresh veggies, homemade cocoa recipe that I have on my blog you can check out. I love sparkling water with lemon or lime. So just trying to get some color in there instead of that brown stuff, unless it's your homemade stuff. That's not caffeine. The number 4 is to move. So just simply like getting up from your desk. I think when we get into a work groove, I find this true for myself. It's really hard for me to like break out of that and just get up. I'll be like, if I'm finally like in a groove, I'll be like, and just go, and sitting and hunched over and closing off everything. So energetically, just like all my energy is going into my computer or my phone, and just everything's going in. And then you just start to look up after a while, and you're just like, I'm feeling it. So set a timer, I love these new smartwatch options. I don't have one, but I know you have one, Juanita, and some of my friends have it, and it like buzzes them. So, okay, you've been sitting too long, it's time to get up and get moving. I think you can program it for different amounts of time intervals, right? Is that something that you have on your watch, Juanita? Give me a comment, or I think that's what you do. But to try and move as much as like, just to get up and walk around your office, or for me, walk around the house. I'll just like do 5-minute pickup. I'll get up and just do 5 minutes of like tidying up, and then that can be hard. So then I also try and like set the timer so that I will stop and not continue on with all the other projects I start to see in my house, and then come back to my work. But just to do 5 minutes, just to get up and do push-ups, and that's my number 1 thing I encourage people to do, to get in little workout bursts. Push-ups are my fave because you can pretty much do them anywhere. You can do them at your desk even, right? Like if you don't want to be like conspicuous with your coworkers, you can put your hands up on your desk and do elevated ones. If you have some like closed off place, you can do them on the floor. Push-ups are great, squats, lunges. There's one of the girls in the Magic Makers movement who's in the UK, and she does loo lunges. So she goes to the loo or the bathroom, she'll do lunges, and I love that. So just sneaking in a little bit of movement every hour at least. Try not to get at your desk where you're just like for 2 hours and then pouring all your energy into the computer. Pour some energy back into yourself so that you can keep your energy up. And oftentimes if you do that and chug a bunch of water, which is super important, you're going to probably not have that drop in your energy, as you might alleviate that or eliminate it. So your watch is constantly reminding you what time So yeah, as much as we can get up and move, or having a standing desk is a great thing too. If you can have that, or a walking desk with a treadmill set up to it, that would be amazing. Number 5 is to look at your overall sleep and try and optimize your sleep as much as possible. Because let me tell you, our cravings, like what we eat is so influenced by our sleep patterns and just what we're giving our bodies in terms of rest. If we are not giving our bodies rest with adequate sleep or with adequate rest days with our workouts, you are going to be craving some serious shit. You're going to be wanting food like all the time. It's going to be on your mind. You're going to be using all your willpower to try and avoid snacking. So really pour into yourself and take a step back and look at your sleep patterns and really evaluate, are you getting enough sleep? Or even if you can't get enough sleep at night because you're a new mom or for whatever reason, is there some way that you can get a 20-minute nap and just give yourself that nap? I know it's not always possible in a lot of common work settings, but if there's any way you can get a quick snooze in, I know like new moms, it's just really it's impossible to have good sleep. And it's a period of time, it's gonna pass, hopefully sooner than later, but what can you do to optimize your sleep? Maybe 7 or 8 hours isn't realistic for you, but maybe you can optimize the quality of that sleep. Can you get blinds for your windows so that you don't have a lot of light coming in? Can you wear eye mask if you don't have? I have to do that because we have really bad light pollution in our house that we're renting, and I don't have like permanent blinds put up that can really block out the light. Or can you make the house a little bit cooler so that you can get into that deeper sleep? Can you avoid caffeine and other things later in the day so that you can really get into a deep sleep? Can you do some like a minute of meditation or stretching before you get into bed to really optimize the quality of that sleep? So what can you do to optimize your sleep? Maybe it's a little bit longer. Maybe you go to bed just 15 minutes earlier, or you sneak in a little bit of a nap. It doesn't have to be drastic changes, but a little bit can really affect your energy throughout the next day. it's hard for me too to really shut down at night. I always want to do more. That's my quiet time when everyone else is kind of in bed. I don't have anyone asking me to do anything. It's my time for me, and it can be hard for me to just be like, no, Carolyn, if you want to have good quality energy and be more productive the next day, like 15 minutes earlier to go to bed is going to be like an extra hour of really productive work the next day, or just a full day of just better work. So think about it that way if it helps you. Like, just to try to like think of your future self and like, what are you gonna want? How do you envision yourself being the next day? Do you want to be energized and not craving a lot of shit? Then take care of yourself now, and you're gonna put money in the bank. As I've been saying a lot lately, pay it forward for yourself. All right, you guys, those are my 5 tips. So plan ahead with a protein stack is number 1. 2, boost that satisfaction score of your lunch as much as possible, as close to a 10, so getting that soul satisfying aspect to it. Number 3 is to swap out your coffee and replace it with the rainbows, so getting in those green juices, sparkling water with lemon, maybe some fresh veggies or some fruit, something that's gonna give you real life food. Number 4 is to get up and move. Number 5 is to optimize your sleep, to just look at your sleep schedule, maybe go to bed 15 minutes earlier, to sneak in a nap if you just are at that place in your life where you can't get good sleep at night. All right, you guys, those are 5 things. So if you want this tip sheet, if you want this written up, I'm going to be sending this out to my newsletter, to my tribe, Body by Banner tribe. If you would like this in written format so you can reference it and have it, and maybe post it on your desk so that you'll be like, yes, I'm not going to get that energy slump. I want to be feeling good all afternoon and go into my night solid and not feel like I'm going to be just like raiding the pantry all evening. Then please add yourself. I'm going to put the link after I finish this in the first comment, or in the comments, not the first one because it already comments, in the comments, so that you can add yourself to my inner circle and get that free. I'm going to be sending it out later this week, and share this with your friend. If you have somebody that you know could benefit from this information, or that you want to be in our little tribe and get some of these tips and workouts and recipes, please share this. That really, that's the best gift you could ever give me or to any online trainer or coach, is just to share this with friends that you think would love it, and to, just share the love. Let's all make our lives healthier, happier, and make some magic happen in the world. Because really doing these things, it's good for us to feel good, right? Like we're worth it. We're worth doing these things. But beyond that, my mission, my love in life is to feel good and to help other people feel good so they can go out into the world and spread that, to do what they do best, to help others, to do their work, to create change in the world that we really need. And it's hard to do that and if we're not feeling good. So this is more than just looking good, feeling good. It's world transformation that we really need to do on a personal level, and that will carry over into all that we do in our lives. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Juanita, my superstar, for being on. And so for the others of you that popped in and out, so grateful for you. I'm going to try and do these more regularly again. So shoot me a message or comment with what else you'd love to hear from me, and I'll be sure to answer that and come back to that later. All right, lots of love. Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye.